Any general questions about this format before we move to the next thing? Anything that didn't make sense using this tool?
I think yes, Julie, this, of course, it makes a lot of sense. It's just that I think now it's been clearer when it comes to refreshing that at least if it is a procedure or an activity that is done frequently, then there may be no need to have anything on the refresh. That one now is very clear. I think I'm sure all of us here know that, because if you practice an activity, often you are likely to master and to be a master of that and to be proficient eventually on that. Thank you.
Yeah, you'll lean heavily into refresh if it's something that people don't use very often. So for example, when people learn CPR, but they're not a healthcare person, they're just somebody who's gotten certified in CPR. I think I think in the US, it's either every year, every 2 years, they recertify for it, which would be an example of a refresh. But this is a population that's not doing CPR every day. And so if they were practicing it every day, we wouldn't need to come back and recertify. If somebody is an ambulance worker who uses CPR often, they don't really need a refresh. But if it's somebody who maybe, hasn't used it in a whole year, then they would need a refresh. So the question of how frequently does it come up? How frequently do they get practice? If they are practicing, are they getting feedback to make sure that they're doing it right? And if the answer is they're using it frequently and they're getting good feedback, then you really probably don't need to have anything in the refresh column. And other things, sometimes people start off doing the behavioral and then it falls off. So if you've probably had stuff on cybersecurity and creating safe passwords. A lot of times people will create safe passwords for a little while and then they start to the behavior starts to fall off, and that's where a refresh can sometimes be helpful, just sort of a reminder of why something's important or how you need a reminder how to do it or things like that. But if they're doing it every day, then they probably don't need it.
Okay.
Right.